I dreamed last night I got on the boat to heaven, and by some chance I had brought my dice along, and there I stood, and I hollered, someone fade me. But the passengers, they knew right from wrong. For the people all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
The people all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
And the devil will drag you under by the sharp lapel of your checkered coat. Sit down,
Sit down, you're rocking the boat.
I sailed away on that little boat to heaven, and by some chance found a bottle in my face, and there I stood, nicely passing out the whiskey. But the passengers were bound to resist. For the people all said, beware, you're on that heavy trip. Oh, the people all said, beware, you'll scuttle the ship. And the devil will drag you under by the fancy tied round your wicked throat. Sit down,
you're rocking the boat.
And as I laughed at those passengers to heaven, a great big wave came and washed me overboard. And as I sank and I hollered, someone save me! Oh, that's the moment I woke up. Thank the Lord. I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under with the soul so heavy you'll never float. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Had a dream, what a dream. Had a dream, what a dream. Had a dream, what a dream.
Sometime recently, I was backstage waiting to go on, and I realized that I was so at home. This is my life's milieu of sitting in the dark among heavy drapery, waiting to move into light.
Thank you, places.
You have to invest completely in the character. 9 times out of 10, the characters don't think they're funny, and tragic characters don't necessarily see their tragedy. I continue to work on trying to be transformative, where Sally would gesture like this. Well, does the mom in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner gesture like that? How does she hold her head? Where is the center of her energy? What does her body look like moving in space?
The time has come for me to admit to you frankly, Mrs. Condiment, that I haven't the faintest idea.
I hear text really rhythmically, and since comedy is sort of music and it's very rhythmic, I feel like I have something of a natural feeling about it. And I'm an avid people watcher. I'm naughty. I love public transportation for eavesdropping and watching. Peter Brook talked about that perfect moment in the theater when it's absolutely silent. And it is. It's exactly right. You're in the pocket. You're down the rabbit hole. We're all together. And it's almost as if we're going together. I don't know how civilians, i.e. non-performers, I don't know what they have that equates with the sublime feeling that you are sharing in an alchemical way something with a larger group of people. When there's those moments, I not only feel like I made the right choice as a career, but I just feel like, isn't this great? Aren't you glad you didn't stay home tonight? I am, you know.
Oh, Lord, remember me. Oh, Lord, remember me. When these chains get broken, set my body free. Oh, Lord, remember me. Days get long, I call your name. Days get long, I call your name. Days get long, I can't see right from wrong. Days get long, I call your name. Guide me on to do your will. Guide me on to do your will. When trouble moves me, keep me standing still. Guide me on to do your will. Oh, Lord, remember me. Oh, Lord, remember me. When these chains get broken, set my spirit free. Oh, Lord, remember me. When these chains get broken,
29. Go.
This is one of the world's great theater facilities. It was built as a public asset. It's meant to be open nearly 365 days a year. And that part of theater that combines to an idea of civic obligation, civic space, community space, I think this building holds so beautifully. We have the best artisans and craftspeople in the country. I mean, we simply do. The work of the shops to take your ideas, which are only kind of good, and rendering them in ways that are truly brilliant is one of the great gifts of working at the Guthrie. The Guthrie had no humble pie phase. No, we grew up from nothing and 40 years later we became something. It was in the national conversation on the day that it opened its doors. Tyrone Guthrie in 1963, he was already the most famous director in the English language. He wanted a place where he could make theater outside of the commercial theater model. He wanted a place where the art is at the center of it. And I'm very excited about continuing this tradition, which the Guthrie has held for the last 53 years. I've never been in a community where there is such love for live theater. There are 400,000 patrons that participates in the life of the Guthrie, but they're not all here for the same reasons and they're not all here on the same night. And the fact that we have these 3 theaters in this one venue allows us to do so many things for so many people. One of the Guthrie's former artistic directors, Liviu Ciule, once said that a community can be measured by the questions its theater asks. And there's something about the theater that provides a safe space for some of our most difficult conversations. Coming into a theater and sitting with 1,100 people dropped into somebody else's story, that's a radical act in today's society. To watch a 450-year-old play of Shakespeare's or a 2,000-year-old play of the Greeks and find that many of the themes, the questions, what's being wrestled with are still questions that we're wrestling with in our own contemporary life is thrilling and exciting. Our job is to make a theater that belongs to the community that we are charged to serve. And taking that responsibility seriously, we have a tremendous obligation in the Twin Cities community, the Upper Midwest, which we also serve. And there's a national and an international community that we also serve. And all of these different communities look to the Guthrie. And I feel a great sense of honor in being in that place in the American theater.
I've been coming to the Guthrie since I was in middle school, and it's been
part of the background of my life ever since. It has connected me to stories that I am certain I would not have encountered without the Guthrie.
This is my program from the first season, 1963. I even have an actor's autograph going backstage.
I think probably one of my favorite experiences was back in 90, 91, something like that. And it was the Shakespeare history plays. And as that Henry V opened, there was a spontaneous standing ovation. The whole audience stood up, and it was just spine-tingling.
I don't think a day goes by that I don't think about theater and think about the Guthrie. It has enriched my life by bringing in so many different perspectives about the theater.
The difference that the Guthrie makes in the community, absolutely, I think the 9th floor programming that brings in a lot of other theater groups, a lot of local groups, a lot of national groups. I think it has the ability to get the whole community excited and involved.
That creative and diverse programming brings people into the Guthrie that might not normally go to the Guthrie, and I think that's really important to expand that community.
While our theater may be dark, our Guthrie Theater that was brought here by the people of Minnesota for the people of Minnesota will illuminate again, and it will shine in such a way that we will be an even brighter star in the universe of American theater.
When the building opened, the New York Times called it a 21st century dream factory. The engine of that dream factory are the people who work there, the intentionality, the care, the detail, the energy, and that sort of lives in that building, and it lives in the psyche of the people who work there.
I just want to say how much I appreciated the love, the support, the nurturing that the Guthrie Theater gave to my play, Floyd's, from the very first reading that we did through to opening night.
Your shops are incredible, the actors you work with, everybody in the artistic department, all of the administrative staff. It really made me up my game.
Despite the curtailing of our performances due to the coronavirus, coming there was extraordinary. The warmth, the hospitality, the love that the theater has for theater companies, the sense of support that we had is extraordinary.
Having a theater with the prestige of the Guthrie select a new play to do its second production sent out a very powerful message about whose stories deserve to be on the main stage, about the importance of comedy and the support of new work and new voices.
There was no feeling like you're part of a creative family like at the Guthrie. This has made me excited to return to the Guthrie every single time because I get challenged as an artist and I get supported as an artist. So both of those things happen at the same time, which does not always happen.
here I am again, this time with City Company, and we are actually working together, thinking of you, wishing you the best, thinking about the Guthrie, thinking about its future, thinking about it as a lighthouse, sending love in your direction.
Oh, for a muse of fire.
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 Ah, for a muse of fire.
Oh, for a muse of fire.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend, brightest heaven of invention.
A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
Then
should the warlike Harry.
should the warlike Harry,
Like himself.
like himself, assume the port of Mars.
And at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment.
Crouch for employment.
Pardon.
Gentles, all the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object.
So great an object.
Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France?
May we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt?
Oh, pardon. Since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000, and let us ciphers to this great account on your imaginary forces work.
Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined two mighty monarchies.
Mighty monarchies.
Piece out our imperfection with your thoughts.
Into 1,000 parts divide one man.
Divide one man,
Think when we talk of horses,
but you see them.
printing their proud hoofs into the receiving earth. 'Tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings. But 'tis your thoughts.
Your thoughts that now must deck our kings.
That now must deck our kings. Carry them here and there, jumping o'er time.
Jumping o'er time.
Jumping o'er times, turning the accomplishment many years.
Turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass.
For the which supply,
admit me course to this history.
Who prologue like your humble patience pray.
Your humble patience, pray.
Your humble patience pray.
Gently to hear. Gently to hear.
Gently to hear. Kindly to judge.
Kindly to judge. Our play.
Live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's the 2020 Guthrie Theater Virtual Benefit. With performances by Regina Marie Williams and Sanford Moore, Mia Pinero, Marc Koeck, Anna Isabel, Mark Hartman, and company members from the Guthries' 2018 production of West Side Story, Ava Saunders and Ryan Colbert. Alumni from the University of Minnesota Guthrie Theater BFA Actor Training Program, Meghan Kreidler and Santino Fontana, with special appearances by Mark Rylance, Lila Robbins, Don Cheadle, Brenda Wheel, John Carroll Lynch, Courtney B. Vance, Emily Swallow, Ricardo Shavira, Ryan Michelle Bath, David Hyde Pierce, Rainn Wilson, Joe Dowling, and Joseph Hodge, your esteemed auctioneer for the evening, Glenn Flatibow of Flatibow Advancement, and your host, Sally Wingert. But first, please welcome Guthrie Theater Artistic Director, Joseph Hodge.
Good evening and welcome to the Guthrie Theater's virtual benefit. I'm Joseph Hodge, Artistic Director, and I'm so grateful to be with you all tonight. My goodness, how wonderful to see some of the theater's brightest talents, each one with a unique tie to the Guthrie, reciting that brilliant prologue to Shakespeare's Henry V. The Guthrie Theater sits on the traditional land of the Dakota people, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations, including the Ojibwe and other indigenous nations. I joined the Guthrie in 2015 with a commitment to expanding the voices represented on our stages and to connecting the arts still more meaningfully to the communities that we are charged to serve. We've made considerable progress, but we know there is still far more work to be done. The murder of George Floyd here in Minneapolis, just a few miles from the Guthrie, sparked a global call for justice and reform so significant that it knocked a 100-year pandemic off the world's headlines. The theater has always had a role to play in creating a more just and equitable society, and the Guthrie will play its part in the fight for justice. If you're joining us tonight, there's a good chance that the Guthrie holds a meaningful place in your life. The theater changes us. It makes us better. Your support tonight will help ensure our ability to create and experience theater for years to come. We've had over 2,500 people from around the world register to attend this event this evening, which is absolutely remarkable. We're so thankful that you've joined us virtually tonight, and we can't wait to welcome you back through our doors just as soon as it is safe to do so. Over the course of this hour, many voices from the Guthries past and present will share what the theater means to them, including our host for the evening, the incomparable Sally Wingert. She is a mainstay in the Twin Cities theater scene and one of the most brilliant actors I know. I'm proud to call her a colleague and a friend. Sally, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Oh, God, how I miss being at the Guthrie. And you, our audiences, I miss you. I'm here in the Kitschak Lounge, which is just steps away from the Wordle Thrust. So close and yet so far. Can you just feel, can you sense how our stages are aching to be alive again? The need is critical now for arts organizations. And here's the thing. When we are able to gather in person again, the Guthrie wants to come roaring back. And we're coming together virtually tonight to make that happen. The advantage, and it might be the only advantage of doing this virtually, is that we can reach out to people all over the globe. So whether you're in our backyard or on the other side of the planet, we want to know where in the world you are. So click on that live chat button or use hashtag Guthrie Benefit on social media and tell us where you're beaming from. I'm so honored to be with you all tonight. You are my heroes, truly. It's a really big shoe. There are some astonishing artists coming your way. In just a moment, my dear friend, Regina Marie Williams will perform for you, so buckle up. But need I remind you, this is a fundraiser, folks. We're trying to raise $725,000 for the Guthrie tonight. And there are so many ways to donate. For the folks out there who are less technologically inclined, I count myself among them. Here's how it works. You get your cell phone, turn it on, and send a text to 41444 with the message, Give to Guthrie. That's the number 2. You will receive a link, so you click on that, and you can make your donation from there. Or you can give online at www.guthrietheater.org/benefit. The donate button will be at the top right-hand corner of your screen. And you can also bid on any number of fabulous auction items, and you can bid until 9 p.m. tonight. And we even have a matching gift challenge that our auctioneer Glenn Flatibow will introduce later, which means that your donation could be doubled. So many ways to give, and so many reasons. We've asked a few of our friends to share how the Guthrie has impacted their lives and careers.
It does so much more than just put on plays. It really serves the soul and the spirit, and it's kind of an oasis of humanity in this complicated world that we live in today. And it allows for introspection. It allows us to really see ourselves.
I think it's pretty simple. If you want to have a functioning, healthy democracy and you want to have a healthy and vibrant community, you need to have great arts organizations. And without a place like the Guthrie, which has thrived so beautifully in Minneapolis for so many years, we don't teach ourselves how to think, how to deal with ambivalence, how to deal with complex ideas, how to remember our history. That's what makes the difference about a place like the Guthrie, and that's why we must have the Guthrie in our lives.
When I was in school for acting, Tony Kushner came and spoke to our class, and he said, I used to think that I could change the world with my plays, and I realized I can't change the world, but I can bring people together to laugh and cry in the same room, and that's just as meaningful. So I feel like the Guthrie makes a difference by allowing us to do that, and I look forward to us being able to do it again.
I think that this moment, this present moment, eventually will require an epic story for us to truly understand the epic struggles that we're encountering every day. And I think that the Guthrie can be a place that really allows that possibility to come forward in the future.
I feel profound gratitude to the Guthrie and others who have offered me the wherewithal to produce my art, to those who have given me the time and space with all those lights, allowing me to compose my stories and to tell them to you. You in Minneapolis are so lucky. Some of the most exciting and dramatic work in American theater has happened here at your theater. It will again. Thank you.
Singing Everything Must Change, please welcome Regina Marie Williams, accompanied by Sanford Moore at Kingdom Life Church here in Minneapolis.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. Nothing and no one stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries do unfold. But that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life we can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. Wounded heart does heal, but never much too soon. yes, everything must change. Young become the old, mysteries to unfold. But that's the way of time. Nothing and no one stays the same. There are not many things in life we can be sure of. But rain falls from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Oh, rain comes from the clouds, the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds, they do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, the sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
Well, that just wrecked me. Hi,
Hi.
beautiful.
Hi,
How goes it? How
Sally.
are you right now, right this very minute? How are you?
Oh, it's great to be here. Oh, I miss the Guthrie. I miss
know,
the theater.
I know, me too. The last time we were together at the Guthrie, what were we doing?
We were in a dressing room together. Well, more
My
than
favorite
that, but
place, really, at the theater. Truth be told.
yes, yes.
Yeah, we were in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner together. I loved that project. I loved working
So
with you
did
on that.
I. Ah, I miss the dressing room. I miss the theater.
So,
I miss all of it.
yeah,
I tell
me
ya.
too.
The costumes, the makeup, the theater, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down, the backaches, the heartaches, oh, more backaches. Oh, the people who make up this theater town. I miss you, people who make up this theater town, but I'm so glad that you're here today to bring us back strong
Right.
when we're ready.
And it'll happen. It's going to happen.
Yes, it will.
Tonight's going to go a long way towards, first of all, just nice to reconnect with our community. And then the generosity of the people that come to see us. It's a little overwhelming, but you know, we're so grateful. Yeah. You look beautiful. Yeah. Hey, who's a diva's best friend? Would you just give Sanford a shout out to?
Oh, absolutely. The inimitable Sanford Moore, a diva's
So
best
fantastic.
friend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, sweetheart. I miss you.
I miss you as well, Sally, but we'll be together soon again. I hope
From
real
your lips.
soon.
With so much at stake right now, I'm kind of blown away by the business community's generosity. As an artist, this kind of commitment really means the world to me. I want to take a moment now to thank our sponsors, particularly our VIP sponsor, Delta, our platinum sponsor, US Bank, and our gold sponsor, Best Buy. To our silver and bronze sponsors listed on the screen, we're just so grateful that you choose to support the Guthrie so generously. And this is also the time to thank our honorary chairs, the fantastic Charlie and Julie Zelli, along with our fearless co-chairs, Ann Poppy and Jennifer Moline Miller. Can you even imagine how much time they have donated to make this benefit work? It's just, we're so grateful. Can we have some real talk for a moment? The Guthrie had to cancel the most ambitious season in its history, losing millions of dollars in canceled performances. Our arts community is struggling right now. Understatement. Hundreds of actors and theater makers, directors are out of work. In response to this critical need, the theater launched a Guthrie Family Fund for all artists and staff members who worked at the theater this season. We have to continue to support the people who make up this extraordinary theater community. And tonight, with your help, we can get through this and make theater that matters on the other side. So join us now, please, in supporting the Guthrie's future by donating at www.guthrietheater.org/benefitnow. Our next guests are recognizable from their iconic roles. First, for his role as the Guthrie's former artistic director, and the second for his role as Dwight on The Office, or, my favorite, Algernon in The Importance of Being Earnest on our very own Thrust stage. Now, a few words from Guthrie's former artistic director, Joe Dowling, and acclaimed actor, Rainn Wilson.
Hello, Joe Dowling here, speaking to you from Dublin, where Siobhan and I have been cocooned for the last couple of months during this difficult and unprecedented time for all of us. When I'm asked, what does the Guthrie mean to me? Well, it means the world to me. It was there at the Guthrie that I found a true artistic home for many years. It was in Minneapolis that we as a family were welcomed as outsiders, but made to feel that we were part of that great community. When all this is over, people will want the theatre to operate as it has before, and to bring the work, both classical and contemporary, onto its stages. I also know that there is much work to be done to make sure that all the community feels engaged with the Guthrie, and I know that that work will be undertaken too. So I hope tonight's a terrific night, and I look forward to a time when we can all gather together in that big blue building by the river and celebrate the glory that is the Guthrie Theater.
I just wanted to speak a little bit from my heart about the Guthrie Theater because it was such an important part of my life as a young actor, and I'm so grateful for what I learned there. It is one of the cultural landmarks of the world. It has consistently been making great and important theater that connects with its grassroots community. And during these really difficult and terrible times, with so much anxiety going around, what we need in this day and age is more storytelling, not less storytelling. We need hard-hitting stories. We need important stories. We need heart-filled stories that connect people. We need human bodies in a space telling stories with one another. And this is going to be a really hard landscape for the American theater going forward. I hope you will support the Guthrie with everything that you have. And I'm so, so grateful again. Thanks so much for hearing me. Have a great time.
Thank you, gentlemen. So great to see your sweet faces. We've now come to the heart of the program. In a moment, you'll hear from company members of West Side Story, but first, Joe Hodge is going to share with you the challenges the theater is facing and why your support is more important than ever.
Theater tradition holds that a ghost light, like this one, burns on stage when the space is unattended. And practically, this is a safety measure to ensure that no one gets hurt if they walk out on stage in the dark. But traditionally, this practice acknowledges the friendly spirits and artistic ancestors who like to haunt theaters. Four months ago, we shut down due to COVID-19 and immediately began planning for our future, looking for a date when we could welcome audiences back to the Guthrie. In the midst of this health crisis, George Floyd was murdered, and Minneapolis became the epicenter of a global uprising for justice. I believe we need the theater more than ever to help us make sense of what's happening in our world, and I'm frustrated and I'm saddened that we can't practice our art form at the very time when it could matter the most. But we are committed to taking a longer view and using this time as an opportunity to create and implement strategies that will allow the Guthrie to better support and serve our community and to contribute to a more equitable society. We have not lost hope or determination. Our belief in the transformational power of live theater has only been reinvigorated. Every year, the Guthrie employs hundreds of actors and artisans, administrators, local partners who make Minnesota their home, which enables them to enrich our diverse theater ecosystem well beyond our walls. Together, we create world-class theater experiences that ignite the imagination, stir the heart, and open the mind. And though we can't gather or make theater right now, we need your help to ensure that when we open again, we can build on our decades-long legacy of artistic excellence and contribution to the community. We simply cannot do that without your financial support tonight. Every year, the Guthrie holds a fundraising event, but this year's is more critical than ever. With your help, we will weather this storm and come out the other side of it transformed. As I reflect on the uncertainty and challenges we continue to face, the words of author Haruki Murakami resonate with me. He says, "And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in." That's what this storm is all about. We may be closer to the beginning of the storm than its end, but we will find our way through it and forge a path forward together. We need your help more than we ever have before to weather these challenges, emerge transformed, and be ready to invite audiences back to the Guthrie. Until then, this ghost light will continue to welcome the spirits and remind us of the joy that awaits when we can open our doors again. Thank you.
Please welcome esteemed auctioneer, Glenn Fletibow.
Joe, thank you for your leadership and your words of inspiration. To the thousands of people that are gathered tonight, thank you for being here. My friends, together as a community, we are going to rally right now. We are going to rally behind the Guthrie. Our goal tonight is to raise $725,000 with this event, and it will lay the foundation to bring the theater back as soon as possible and as strong as possible. We can do this together. We can do this as a community right now. If there was ever a moment to dig a little deeper, to reach a little further, it is right now. We've already raised over $515,000. We are getting closer to $725,000. And listen to this, everyone. The gifts are coming in. We have a $25,000 gift tonight from Irv and Marge Weiser. They are giving us $25,000. We're already at $570,000. Thank you to Irv and Marge. We have a $15,000 gift tonight from Wendy Nelson and Martha Goldberg Aronson. Wendy and Martha, thank you for all that you have done. And this is inspiring. We have a gift tonight, a $10,000 gift from a family that has never given to the Guthrie before. They have never given to us. It's the first donation. Thank you to that family and all of our new donors. And we have multiple gifts coming in at the $5,000 level. We're getting closer. We're at $575,000. If everyone could take a moment right now and make a donation, you can give two ways. You can go to guthrie.org/benefit and hit donate, or you can text 41444, and in the message box, write "Give to Guthrie," and you'll receive a prompt. And I have a very, very special announcement. A great Minnesota family. David Moore, one of our board members, he and his wife Lenny Moore have agreed tonight that they will match every gift dollar for dollar up to $50,000. So anyone who pledges $1,000 and below, David and Lenny will match that gift. They are doing it for two reasons. They're doing it to inspire and rally the community, and they're also doing it to help us find a new generation of donors. I want to offer a personal and heartfelt thank you to a great Minnesota family. Sally, we are going to get there together. We are going to get to $725,000. Thank you, everyone, for rallying behind us. Keep those gifts coming in.
I do love a challenge. So let's turn that 50,000 into 100 grand. Let's keep donating, please. Up next, many of you may remember the Guthrie's powerful production of West Side Story, directed by Joe Hodge with original choreography by Maya Garcia. I certainly do. Well, we've gathered the company members tonight for a virtual reunion. Tonight.
Reprising their roles from the Guthrie's 2018 production of West Side Story, Mia Pinero and Marc Koeck, along with Anna Isabel, Mark Hartman, and company members from around the world.
Greetings from Puerto Rico. A few years ago, the Guthrie Theater put together an amazing group of artists from all over the world to tell an American classic with authentic voices. And it's not a coincidence that that show was the #1 show at the Guthrie Theater history, because people want to see more theater made by us, by all of us.
Tonight won't be just any night. Tonight there will be no morning star.
Tonight, I'll see my love tonight, and for us, stars will stop where they are.
Today, the minutes seem like hours. The hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light. Oh, moon, grow bright, and make this endless day endless night.
Tonight won't be just any night. Tonight there will be no morning star. Tonight, I'll see my love tonight, and for us, stars will stop where they are.
Today, the minutes seem like hours. The hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light. Oh, moon, grow bright, and make this endless day endless night. Tonight.
I love that. The Guthrie's West Side Story showcased just how incredibly talented and diverse the future of theater is. Coming up, University of Minnesota Guthrie BFA alumni perform an excerpt from Toni Morrison's Nobel Prize lecture and a song from one of Broadway's brightest stars, who is also a Guthrie BFA alum, Santino Fontana. But first, I'm going to hand the mic back to my buddy Glenn, and he's going to help us crank up that fundraising thermometer.
Now listen to this, Sally. We are doing great. We're over 647,000. So let's blow way past the $725,000 goal. We are going to do this together. We have some amazing items, by the way, to bid on in the live auction or premier auction tonight. We have 30 items. The auction committee has done a remarkable job. You can bid till 9 p.m. on all of these items. I'm going to hit the highlights of several of them. This first item, Sally, I love this item. Absolutely love it. This is a 1 week rental of a Winnebago. It was given to us by Winnebago Industries, and Stacy Bogert, one of our committee members and board members, she secured it. Winnebago will work with you on this. You can use it anytime in the coming year. It's a 1 week rental. So you can head up to the North Shore. You can look at the fall colors. We actually have a Guthrie supporter who will let you use their property overlooking Lake Superior in northern Bayfield County. So if you want to go up to the Apostle Islands or northern Bayfield County, I believe the current bid on this, Sally, is $2,500. And here's an idea for you. Here's an idea for you, Sally. There's no state fair, so you could bid on this. You could just go park it at the state fair and hang out for a little while. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah, that really.
Not really.
Like no, my husband though is always trying to get us to rent an RV. That's a hot ticket item right now.
I love that package. It's a $2,500 price right now, so there's a lot of opportunity. Our second item tonight, this is a remarkable item. We've had a lot of support in the last hour on this item. Matter of fact, it is a dinner for 8 at Joe Hodge's house with his wife Deirdre. So they're hosting you. 8 people are coming to the home. Chef Vincent Francoul, the French chef, of course, he's a great guy. He's super community-minded. He is going to do the dinner. It's for 8 people. The current bid is $7,000. I think if we get to $10,000, you can all stay overnight at Joe and Deirdre's for a couple nights. So I just threw that in. It's an awesome item. Our third item, Sally, is a big deal, by the way. The third item is worth $100,000, and the reason is because you're involved. Okay, so I'm not kidding. It is a cocktail party for 12 people. It's hosted by our board member Brian Peach and Christopher Herman at their downtown Minneapolis loft. So you're going to go down to their loft. You're the entertainment, so it is a big deal. By the way, Sally,
yes. I was just going to say, I might be wearing this same outfit. But at the cocktail party, I will wear the pants.
Good. And by the way, if you bid on this, Sally, you don't have to do it. So if you want to bid on it, you don't have to do it. I will say before I go to the next item, Sally, you are an absolute treasure to Minnesota. Thank you for all that you've done. You're an absolute gift. We just have one other item to talk about. I love this item. It's our last premier auction item. It is an opportunity to go to Lake Minnetonka with local actors and a celebrity chef. This is hosted by our board members, Martha Goldberg Aronson and Wendy Nelson. This is a party for 4. You're going to be treated to cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and a beautiful boat ride on a Chris Craft boat. The current bid on this, by the way, is $2,500. If we get the bid if we get it higher, Sally, Martha and Wendy are going to water ski behind the boat. So that is an addition. I will say to Wendy and Martha, I miss seeing you. Thank you, Martha and Wendy, for all that you've done. We have some remarkable other packages. We have a private in-home concert that you can bid on until 9 p.m. with Tyler Michaels King. We also have a case of wine, 12 bottles of premium wine from the private wine cellars of Guthrie lifetime trustees. Finally, to everyone gathered tonight, thank you so much for all that you've done, for rallying. Sally, we are going to blow way past the 725. We can do this as a community. Thank you, everyone, for all that you're doing.
I just want to add that I think that somebody should really get their bidding on. Get those 12 bottles of wine, which are going to be astonishing, each hand-picked, and they should drink that wine at a party with Tyler Michaels crooning for you. That talk about legend. That will be legendary. So that's my, just be sure to get those bids in before 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. And I hear that there's someone beaming in from Russia. What time does the auction close there? I'll just get my people to find that out and get back to me on that. Bid it up!
Bid it up. Thank you, Sally, for all of your work tonight.
My pleasure. And remember, I just want to say again, David and Lenny Moore's generous $50,000 match for all gifts up to $1,000. So you can give online at www.guthrietheater.org/benefit, or you can text 41444 with the message "Give to Guthrie" to help us meet the Moores Challenge. We've done so much tonight together already. Actually, you've done so much together already, but the night isn't over yet, and it's about to get really interesting. Still to come, from the Guthrie BFA to Broadway, Santino Fontana. But first, let's hear from a few BIPOC BFA actors whose vision for the future I think is going to inspire you. And then a story from the late, great Toni Morrison. I'll see you in a little bit.
We've been training for what this very specific idea of theater is. And now that specific idea of theater does not exist anywhere. And we don't know when that version will come back or if it will come back at all.
It feels extremely weird beginning my life as an actor, artist, creator right now. I thought I'd be auditioning and have a show lined up for me at some point, and I don't know when I'll be able to see theater again.
I believe this is quite the time to be alive as actors and artists, for we are humbly faced with the task of lighting the sky with golden truth in this hour of urgency.
As a Black student in a training program, it gives me the opportunity to make change in the environment I live in and to be not just an actor, but an activist in my everyday life.
My role as an African American student right now is to learn my history in all areas so that I can tell all the stories of Blackness.
Because we haven't been in this career for so long, it feels like we maybe have an advantage because we aren't reminiscent of the past. We now get to start our careers in our own image.
I act as a radical demonstration of my freedom. I act to be a part of a global and historic conversation. I act to find my voice, so when I'm not on stage and I don't feel seen or heard, I still have me in my presence.
Live from Minneapolis and Chicago, honoring playwright and Nobel laureate Toni Morrison, please welcome University of Minnesota Guthrie Theater BFA program alumni Ava Saunders and Ryan Colbert.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, there was an old woman, blind, wise.
In the version I know, the woman is a daughter of slaves.
One day,
Black, American,
the woman
lives
is
in a small
visited by
house
some
outside
young
of town,
people who seem bent on
among
disproving
law
her
and its
clairvoyance.
transgression.
Their plan is simple. They enter her house and ask one question, a question which rides solely on her difference from them, a difference that they regard as a profound disability, her blindness.
Old woman, I hold in my hand a bird. Tell me whether it is living or dead.
She doesn't answer, and the question is repeated, is the bird I'm holding living or dead?
She still doesn't answer. She's blind. She cannot see her visitors, let alone what is in their hands. She doesn't know their color, their gender, or...
The old woman's silence is so long that the young people
their homeland.
have trouble holding their laughter. Finally, she speaks.
I don't know. I don't know whether the bird you are holding is living or dead. But what I do know is it is in your hands. It is in your hands.
Meaning, if it's dead, you've either found it that way or you've killed it. If it's alive, you could still kill it. Whether it is to stay alive, that's your responsibility. So I choose to read the bird as language and the woman as a practiced writer.
So the question the young people put to her, is it living or dead, is not unreal because she sees language as susceptible to death, erasure. We die. That may be the meaning of life. But we do language. That may be the measure of our lives.
What did those young people hear in those final words? The bird is in your hands. Perhaps what they heard is, it's not my problem.
The future of language is yours. She keeps her distance and retreats into the singularity of isolation, in sophisticated, privileged space. That silence is deep. It shivers, this silence. And the young people, annoyed, fill it with language invented on the spot.
Is there no speech? No words you can give us to help us start strong? No. Don't you remember being young, when language was magic without meaning? When questions and demands for answers burned so brightly that you burned with fury at not knowing?
Why didn't you reach out and touch us with your soft fingers? The sound bite, the lesson until you knew who we were. We have been told all our short lives that we have to be responsible. What could that possibly mean?
Is there no context for our lives? No song, no literature, no poem full of vitamins, no history connected to context that you can pass along to help us start strong?
Make up a story. We will not blame you if your reach exceeds your grasp. If love so ignites your words, they go down in flames. Passion is never enough. Neither is skill, but try.
For our sake and yours, forget your name in the street. Tell us what the world has been to you in the dark places and the light. Don't tell us what to believe.
Don't tell us what to believe.
Or what to fear.
What to fear. Show us.
Show us.
Show us belief's wide skirt and the stitch that unravels fear's cowl.
It's quiet again when the young people finish speaking, until the woman, she breaks into that silence.
Finally, I trust you now. I trust you with the bird that is not in your hands, because you have truly caught it.
Thanks, Ava and Ryan. Clearly, we were having some technical difficulties there. And I just want to say technology is an astonishing, amazing thing, but it will never replace live theater. Well, that hit all the right spots, didn't it? I'm so glad we had this time together. It is galvanizing. It's galvanizing just to feel like I'm kind of with you all. I can hardly believe, but we have raised now $706,000. Oh gosh, we're close to $725,000. Can we do it? Can we do it? It's incredible. And we're not done. The auction bidding continues until 9 p.m. Central. And once again, you can give by texting 41444 with the message "Give to Guthrie." I really have to say thank you. Artists cannot wait to get back on stage again. And with all of your generous support, our theater will come roaring back. Oh, Joe, it's been really an honor to share this evening with you.
Sally, you've been a dream. Thank you so much. Just magnificent, my friend. Thank you.
You know, this community is our reason for being.
Well, I'll toast to that. Truly,
and
Sally,
that one too.
Yay. I'm beyond grateful for you, Sally. Thank you so much for being so brilliant tonight. And thank you to the generosity of all these amazing artists and colleagues. And thank you to all of you who have tuned in tonight. I look forward to working together in the coming months to get back to what we do best, making extraordinary theater together. With your help, we can ensure that the Guthrie has the resources to support the talents of the world's finest theater makers just as soon as it is safe to do so. Thank you all very much, and good night.
On and on, I the way it's gotta be. Hey, little lady, life has never been so hard. Hey, little lady, nature sometimes steals the cards. 'Cause I'm on fire. It's nothing you need to worry about, baby. Go now. It's something I need to live without. I'm on fire. It's nothing you need to worry about, baby. It's gone, yeah. It's something I need to live without. I miss you, you miss me. That's the way it's gotta be. I miss you and you miss me. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. That's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. That's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me. That's the way it's gonna be. I miss you and you miss me.
If you would like to donate to the Guthrie Theater Virtual Benefit, please visit www.guthrietheater.org/benefit or text GIVE to Guthrie at 41444. To stay connected to the Guthrie Theater, follow us on social media, visit our video library on YouTube, and subscribe to our email newsletter at guthrietheater.org. To learn more about this virtual benefit and the Guthrie Theater, visit www.guthrietheater.org/benefit. To learn more about Broadway Unlocked, visit www.broadwayunlocked.com. I'm Ike Amati, and on behalf of the Guthrie Theater, thank you and good night.